Hello, today is March 15th, 2019, and the time is 6:19 p.m. Just want to do a video about something that has been really bothering me since the May 4th, 2013 event. And I know I've said in videos prior that I live in pain 24/7. And one of the primary pains that I deal with are pain in my hands and my wrists. All the time, day and night. And when I do fall asleep, and if I'm not having nightmares waking me up, I'm woken up by the pain in my hands. And I've been living like that for, well, I guess coming up to 6 years now. The hardest thing for me to accept is I don't have use of my hands, primarily my right hand. Both my left hand and wrist were damaged as from a result of what happened to me on May 4th, 2013. And according to surgeons and everyone else, and they did some nerve tests and all sorts of tests, that the reduction on my right hand and wrist compared to my left hand and wrist is about 50%, or maybe a bit more, I can't remember, around 50%, and that's compared to my left hand and wrist, which is damaged. And I was told that eventually I'm not going to have use of my hands, primarily my right hand, that suffered the most damage. And that's really hard for me to accept as a human being, as a man, because I mean, we take for granted how much we use our hands, and I have a difficult time even to do a signature. It's just chicken scratch now. I can't write. Printing is extremely difficult, and I guess for me, with my training background and everything, and I like to be a hands-on type of person, not having I don't even know how to say it. It bothers me. Not feeling like a full human being is hard to accept. And yeah, I know there's other people out there who, have, they've lost legs and arms and whatever. And, great that they've adapted to that condition, whether they were born with it or something happened in their life. But it's hard for me. And I just want to show an example, and the reason why I'm doing this example is because there's a video of me doing this, and I wanted to show how little use I have. So there's a video of me jokingly giving the finger, flipping the bird in a video, and I'm kind of pretending to scratch my nose, but it was kind of all in jest when that was done. But you can see I was able to curl my fingers down and keep my index finger extended to do that. And well, if I try to do that now, that's it. That's as far as I can. This is embarrassing. So if I try to, and it's hard to turn my wrist, but if I try to do the finger, like mimic that, I'm going to hopefully do a side by side. That's the best I can do. And right now I'm straining to do that, and it hurts a lot. And there's a video when after the soon after the injury where I couldn't close my hand. And I remember using a little kind of like a rubber ball. I slept with it. I kind of, well, for a while I couldn't open my hand, and my hand was simply just contracting a lot, and I couldn't open it. So I was shoving a ball in there to keep it open and sleeping with it, and I kept doing that until at night the ball would just fall out of my hand. So that means that it was whatever, it was kind of getting better. But if I don't open my hand maintains this position, and so I have to constantly keep opening my hand. And it's weird because when it's cold outside, I don't feel the cold, but then all of a sudden I just feel the pain of the cold. And I was told by a doctor that I have to be very careful, because by the time I feel it, it's like frostbite or whatever. And you could see how the fingers are crooked now and everything, and I'm losing bone density because of the circulation. Whatever was severed, nerves and stuff were severed in my hands. My hands are shrinking and like shriveling up. And it's hard to deal with, and I feel like I'm a half a man now because of that. And in the video where I'm opening and closing my hand, this is what I can do now. But anyway, that injury, I've said many times, had happened when the former officer and his partner found intestinal gas pills in my pocket, and for whatever reason they thought that, based on their comment, what they said to me was, we know what you're about to do to her, you sick fuck. We got here just in time. And that's when the former officer unlocked the handcuffs and cranked down on them, and they started beating me a lot. And they were kicking my legs. My legs were so numb. By the time I got to the police station, I couldn't feel my legs. And anyway, I just want to focus on my hands. So sometimes I get in my fingertips kind of a weird, really sharp prickling, like it's full of glass in my fingertips. But I have a hard time feeling much. And I did go to physio, and even the surgeon said that there's nothing that could be done, and I needed to have surgery. And unfortunately, from what I'm told, the surgery that I need to repair my hands would be out of the country, and I would have to pay for that, which apparently is very costly. And that was years ago, like 2014, and I was told that 2015. And the longer I was told, the longer I wait, the less likely there will be any success. And then one surgeon said something, or a doctor, somebody said that there was a 50-50 chance of success, and either it would be successful and it wouldn't bring my hands back to where they were, but it would slow down the deterioration of my hands. And if it didn't work, then that would be it. My hands would be screwed up. So that was a long time ago, so I don't even know if that's an option. But just to do a simple task like write my name, sign my name on something, or take notes, or it's a constant reminder in the pain and not being able to do stuff, and having to get friends to just do simple things, and it's hard to accept. And I don't know, I just wanted to share that. I just don't, to me, that if I don't have use of my hands, and especially, as I said, with my training background, and always having that confidence of being able to handle myself. I know I'm older and I'm not where I used to be, but I can't even grab onto anything. I do try to use my hands as much as I can, and sometimes the pain is really severe, and I've noticed that my hands, primarily my right hand, swells up in balloons, and even friends have noticed that, how that happens. And then I got to hold my hand up, and then it's really weird, because if I'm under the blanket, and where it's you're warm under the blanket, and my hand is underneath the blanket, it starts to hurt, like a hot pain, and then I try to put it up in the air, and it feels like it cools it off or whatever, it drains. I don't understand that. That's always perplexed me. But when the former officer and his partner did that to me, police usually do that to people who that's how they mark sex offenders and pedophiles and stuff. And you'd only know this if you worked in that environment. I learned about this when I did work in corrections in the early 90s as a casual. And not as a correctional officer. I did other work, more with the psych department, but anyway. And then just throughout my previous career, you learn that. And I know that, and they were wrong doing that. And when you look at that report, that how they profiled me, I mean, what a mess everything is. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on. I just wanted to get through this and show my hands. You could see oh, that hurt. That's as far as I can bend my thumb and my fingers. And anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, thanks.